I have traveled multiple times. I drove down to Texas to pick up a machine before. I've driven
And
down to
you're in
Oklahoma.
Kansas,
I'm in
right?
Kansas, by the way. So,
Yeah.
it was probably like 6 hours or something down to Texas. I drove 4 hours down to Oklahoma, but most recently, probably this Baltimore trip.
Hmm.
And, one of the reasons is the amount of stuff that I acquired. So
Okay.
I picked up some machines that, like, if you like, I got lucky to find it first off. But in the collection, there was a ton of old literature as well,
Oh,
like
wow.
literature from like the 20s and 30s, like very, very old stuff. And so,
Wow.
gonna try and preserve some of that stuff. But there was a few machines in there. The Model R, for example, which actually I have one right behind me. I'm gonna pull this up on camera because it's a neat
Wow.
machine. Look at that.
Yes.
So this is a machine from like the maybe late 1920s, maybe early 30s kind of era.
Wow.
And they did not make very many of those machines. There's stampings on the back of those that tell you like what production number it was. And in that literature, it said that they were made in limited quantities. So
Mhm.
I would imagine at that time in the 30s, that might only be 5,000 machines or something. So it's a rare piece. And I ended up getting five of them, which is amazing because I knew they existed, but I had never actually seen one before. And like if you go on like eBay, you can look something up, and even if there's not something listed, you can go up in the settings and you can look for listings that have sold, right?
Right.
You won't find one of those on eBay.
Wow.
So it's like a massive online marketplace where things sell. Billions of things have sold on eBay. A Model R has not sold. And then also I got a Model M, which I didn't even know existed because I have never seen any information on it whatsoever.
Wow.
So when I saw that, I was looking at it, I'm like, what is that? So I still have a little studying to do on that, but that trip, it was a long trip, right? It was about 20 hours out there, 20 hours back. We had to rent a U-Haul trailer, build a 20-foot U-Haul from front to rear. I
Wow.
believe we picked up around 100 machines. We picked up, like I said, we got the literature, we got some vintage like KitchenAid signage, and it was just it was a unique experience, especially because I live in small town Kansas, right? And I've traveled around before. I've been to big cities, but like being in downtown Baltimore, like that's where we picked it up at, uh it's almost a little out of my comfort zone, right? Because it's like I'm by myself in this big city, driving this big truck through this busy metropolitan area that I don't know where anything is at. And so I was white knuckling the whole way, but we made it through, and yeah, I think it was a positive experience.
It's
And
cool.
I'm very excited to take some of these pieces and make a museum out of it. So
I love it.